What's going on? Happy Friday to you. Welcome in. Got an action-packed stream. Got a lot to get to. Very fired up for today's stream for a couple of reasons. But we have a really big college football game that's happening in 90 minutes. We have 10 NBA games tonight. So anytime we have a full slate of NBA action, you know that the stream is just going to be jam-packed full of plays. Only 3 NHL games, couple college basketball games, right? It's really a big NBA and then obviously, Final Four CFP matchup between Indiana and Oregon, which I'm excited to watch here shortly. So the other big news is that Dabble went live in Arizona, which is huge. If you could tell me, hey, Billy, you can only pick one DFS book that you could bet with for the rest of your life, no questions asked, I would pick Dabble every single time. Now, Dabble, I'm familiar with your game because for the last couple of years when I went to visit my dad in Florida, I've been using Dabble. So, unfortunately, it's only on the phone. It's only on the phone, guys. No website, but I'm going to be cooking up Dabble on my phone right here. And then sharing those links with you guys as well in the stream. Very excited that Arizona now is live with Dabble. So we're going to have some things to jump into. So let's take a look. Mike, what's going on? Irish, how are you, my friend? So let's see what we have going on today. Yeah, Irish, it's been a minute. There was definitely a plan to stream yesterday, but had some responsibilities I had to take care of for Odds Jam that they needed ASAP. And so got that done for them. So I wasn't able to stream yesterday. Planning on streaming tomorrow and on Sunday as well. I don't know about any of you guys. I've been, ever since last week, I've been sick. I've gotten basically on the other side of it and I'm feeling a lot better. This morning I woke up with a sore throat. So like, this is the longest I've ever been sick before. It's been like probably 10 days to 2 weeks. I'm feeling really good other than the whole sore throat thing. So just been drinking a lot of tea and dealing with kind of that, a lot of honey. But let's kind of get over to the EV tool. DFS, very excited about Dabble joining the mix. We have a full pie Friday, guys. A lot of stat slices on DraftKings Pick 6. We have a Luka Doncic discount on Better. It's obviously earlier today I shared my PrizePicks Flex Friday slip. So check that out on X. I posted that on my profile. A lot of good stuff going on. So let me refresh the page. At the moment, we're just devigging to Pinnacle. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, I definitely hear you there, Mike. Flu strain's definitely been nasty all over. I can agree with you there. Chi-Town, what's going on? Yeah, been a minute, guys. Obviously, don't mean to be away and not stream for as much as we have, but it's just looking to get back to a more regular schedule. And obviously, me creating this new background is taken away from a stream or two because I've been spending some later nights up. All right, so what do we got here? Ordy, what's going on? All right, so we got some better value. So we'll just kind of rip through this Luka discount at the moment. I'm sure there's some kind of Onyx parlay boost. There's just a lot going on in general, guys. So we're going to try to get to as much as we possibly can. So Luka over on his points and assists. I play these discounts on Better every single day. This Jacoby Walter play, you could play it on Underdog. I'm going to play it on Better over 1.5 threes. All right. Anything that's below minus 120, we're looking to make a 3-man slip, guys. Each slip's at minus 122 odds. So these are all below minus 122. Minus 122, I should say, is below all of this in terms of the fair value. So I love it. Same with Reynald, George. This Reynald plays a little bit better, right? A little bit of an edge, not huge. But again, any play that has an edge, I am looking to cook up on my slips. So we'll take the over 11.5 points. This will be the Luka discount. Max bet for me is $10. 3-pick entry, no insurance. I'll share the link with you guys over here in the chat. So Irish, I know I always appreciate you letting me know about it, but because I know that you ask about the Onyx boost every day, you don't have to remind me. Some of the regulars know G's, I always appreciate. Sometimes I forget, Irish, but for the most part, I know that you're always going to be in the chat asking to look at that Onyx boost. So, you're here every day, man, so you don't have to really worry about me forgetting about it. I'll make sure to take a look at it. Yeah, no doubt about that, Wilbo. Need a little tea. I'm a big fan of tea. Not a coffee guy at all. Fun fact, I don't drink coffee at all, guys. I love the smell of coffee. I don't drink it. But I'm a big tea guy, so definitely green tea, any kind of tea. So there we go. There's that Luka slip, 3-pick entry. Parlay play, all right? And then it looks like maybe we have an option. Let's do this underdog slip. Okay. Sandro, over on his points, excuse me. Looks like they nerfed this, though, already. They already nerfed this payout, looks like. Yeah, they already nerfed that. So we got to go to Shed. Shed under on his points. Raptors game. Cool. I don't know if we'll be able to do the Walter play because I think they're on the same team, but we'll take a look at George on his points. And would love to hear from you guys, the OGs and DGens in the chat here. How's it been going for you thus far in January? Not going to lie, it's been a brutal January for me. But I don't feel like I'm alone in saying that. I feel like the consensus, at least with the odds GM community, unless your name's Parlay Lab, is it hasn't been very good at all when it comes to this month of January so far. And I know that the books are giving me their best shot, and I'm taking it right on the chin, and we'll be just fine. We're going to keep on keeping on. All right, I'm going to add this Rasharia play. $25, 3-pick slip, guys, underdog, no insurance, 6x payout. Here is the link. Orty says it's been rough so far. Chi-Town says, I drink too many lattes. I would say my latte, I got like about 5 lattes in this can right here. A little gorilla mine. Shout out to More Plates, More Dates. This is his energy drink I'm a really big fan of. Bring back the lemon. Derek, if you're watching this, you're probably not, but if you are, bring back the Lucky Lemon, man. I need it. Need it in my veins. All right, so there was a 3-pick slip on underdog we just shared. We just ran a better slip. A lot of better value. We could rock better for a while. I'm trying to see if there's any dabble. We got Dyson Daniels. Okay. Let's refresh this once more. Yeah, got some more value. A lot of better value here, no doubt. We could go after this. So we'll cook up one more better slip, guys, that I'm not going to be taking advantage of any discounts or anything on better. This is just, how it is, 1-for-1. We'll do Edgecombe. Edgecombe over on his assists. But it's huge news that we have Lou Dort over on his points. Okay. Huge news that we have Dabble in Arizona. I'm really excited about it. I actually cashed my first slip last night. My first AZ slip hit 2 out of 2. My third pick was voided. So already 1-0 in AZ with Dabble, which is awesome. Lou Dort, all right. And then we could do George again. We could do Rasharia. A couple of plays here we could go with. I'll go with Walter. I'll go back to this once more. Over on his threes. Looks like they just removed one of the slips. They just removed the Walter play. That got bumped. What a surprise. All right. So let's go with Shed then, and we'll take his under on his points. Okay. 6x payout. I'm going to up on my DFS value a little bit, guys, obviously on the places that I can. So I'm going to put $100 on this, and I'll share this with you guys as well. So this is just your regular 3-pick slip, pays 6x. They auto-limited everyone, Irish? Yeah. Dabbles Cook Chi-Town? Yeah, Woody, I would say it's very soft. Appreciate you sharing that, Jordan. Killing it. January Chi-Town says up 35 units. Love to hear that. Orty and Jordan says it's been rough. Been rough for me. Ben, how's it going? Billy, it's been going all right, man. Obviously dealing with this never-ending being sick thing. So hopefully you're doing well, man. Hopefully most of you guys in this chat are not sick. I don't even have kids. That's how bad it's going. I don't even have kids, and I've still been sick for like 10 days. So, all right, let's take a look at FanDuel because I want to find some dabble value. I want to find some pick 6 value, prize picks, obviously, as well. So let's devig this to FanDuel. And let's remove better. And just dropped a video, guys, on the Odds Jam channel talking about Kalshi and Poly Market. Definitely give that a watch. Just dropped on the Odds Jam YouTube channel probably about an hour or so ago. Talking about prediction markets, how I feel they're the future. And it's so early when it comes to prediction markets, in my opinion, guys. Like if you got, don't be afraid of them. Don't be afraid that like this, the pros live out there and you can't make any money over there. I don't feel that's true. Maybe in like 3 years that'll be the case, but right now, not at all. Let's get rid of parlay play as well. All right, what do we got? What do we got? D-Vigging to FanDuel. Schroeder, Colin Murray, Boyles. This is going to be a dabble slip. I'm going to come over here, click the play button. Let's go and let's hit this up. So it looks like if I hit the search bar, I got to hit the play button, I guess, which is kind of a pain in the ass. And then I got to go to NBA. I got to do this by games, guys. I guess you can't use the Discover button. Again, I'm still kind of new on Dabble. It's been a year since I've used it. Schroeder on his points, less than 12.5. Murray Boyles on rebounds for the Raptors-Celtics game, under 7.5 rebounds. Okay. And then what's the third play? Steven Adams, under on points. This is for Dabble, which obviously now I'm super excited that we can hit this up a little bit more. Steven Adams, less than 8.5. 3-pick slip. View my 3 picks. Cool. I got $200 in my account, so I'm going to throw 100 on here. Will they let me do that? Will they let me do more than that? No, they're only going to let me do up to $50. I don't know. You guys can tell me that you use Dabble. Is that like the case? They're only letting me bet $50. But there it is. So how can I share this? That's the question. Nope. We want to share this one. There it is. Let me share the entry here. Let me throw this in my notes here, guys. Okay. Let me go over here on my MacBook. Shout out to the MacBook, and I can just share this link with you guys right away. Sugar. Wait a minute. 1 second here, guys. It's the first time I'm sharing an entry on Dabble. So I don't know how I saved the photo, but I'm trying to save the actual. Yeah, I'm not sure how we can do this. Yeah, Irish, I'm trying to do that now. My username on Dabble is Billy C. So it's just Billy C. Bear with me 1 second here, guys. Again, it's first day with Dabble, and I'm trying to figure out how I can share this. Because I can't. I'm trying to share this with the chat. All right, I don't know if this is going to work. We'll try it. What's going on, Garrett? No, you can't. That doesn't work. I want the actual link. If anyone knows, give me a shout out. Let me know. I got 4 followers, which is pretty good. Display profile information. I don't care about that. The referral code, that's fine. I just don't know how to do it. Oh, Chi-Town says once you start doing the copy thing on Dabble, you'll get limited pretty quick. Well, to let you guys know, this was the entry. So for those of you that are interested, here it is, right? So I can make this a little bit bigger for everyone to see. Doesn't help. Colin Murray Boyles, under 7.5 rebounds. Use code BillyC. Again, I'm going to get limited on Dabble, so Chi-Town, appreciate you letting me know about that. I do have, obviously, a backup Dabble ready to go in the wings, but this is obviously my Dabble account, so hopefully you guys are able to tail it. It's all unders. Under on Schroeder points, Steven Adams points, and then Murray Boyles under 7.5. So there we go. All right, let's take a look at pick 6, DraftKings. We got some stat slices here. I could keep going with more Dabble. I could go with Jordan Poole if you guys want to. These are really good. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like I have to make one more of these because it's just too good to pass up. So for those of you that are not interested in DFS at all, the streams will probably have a little bit more time spent on, with Dabble being now added to Arizona, obviously I'm going to be a little bit more interested in betting these. So we're looking at what? Wizards and the Pelicans. And 3-pointers, what, made? All right, Jordan Poole, we're taking the over. We could go back to Schroeder and Murray Boyles. Do we have, looks like we got some nice underdog. This is all DVigging at FanDuel, by the way, for those of you that are curious. We got Quentin Post and Kevin Porter Jr. All right, I'm cool with that. Kevin Porter Jr. on points and assists. So we're going with more. And then Quentin Post under on his points in the Sacramento game. All right, guys, this is going to be a 3-pick slip as well. Looks like the max entry for me is $50, so that's what I'm playing it as. We might start maybe playing some bigger ones. But there we go. And if I can share this with you guys as well, I would do so. Yeah, can't really share this with you guys in the chat, but that sucks. All right. So we took Porter Jr. over, Quentin Post under, and then we took Poole over. You can go back to the well, add Schroeder, add Murray Boyles if you want to. I like to mix it up sometimes when we have some more options from time to time. Let's get off of Dabble, and let's also get off of Underdog. All right, what do we got here? I don't really care about DraftKings. My bad. All right, PrizePicks. All DVigged to FanDuel right now, but I'll take this. Ken, what's going on, man? Patrick, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate the kind words. And appreciate all the chat here, guys. The chatter, what's going on? You know, I do apologize if I've been kind of away for the last, I guess since beginning of 2026, I definitely haven't been streaming as much as I've wanted to. It's really come down to a couple of things. Number one, I've been fairly sick, finally getting a lot better. Number two, obviously the whole background, that took a little bit of work for me. I'm not the best when it comes to being a handyman. So, got that going. Finally, the background's finished completely. We'll add like a light probably off to the side here, but I'm very excited about the background. And then yesterday was really just kind of a last-minute request by OddsJam to work on some content that I needed to knock out. And that really got that alert probably about 45 minutes before my stream and was focused on knocking that out. So we're going to take the Giannis under, Brooks under, Booker under, 3-pick entry, guys. No insurance here. This is going to be this slip here. So we're taking, again, all unders on PrizePicks. And I'll share this link with you guys. A little easier to share the link. Unfortunately, Dabble doesn't have a website, so I'm limited to the cell phone app. And this really sucks that I have to figure out a way to see how I can share the link with you guys. Because even if I get limited on my personal Dabble account, it's no problem. We'll just fire up another one. There we go. All right, so there's a PrizePicks slip, 3-pick entry. And then let's get off of PrizePicks. DraftKings pick 6, Spencer and Oubre, not the biggest edges here. Again, we have some different stat slices that I can go after. I'm going to take Denny Advita over on his points. Let's go Oubre under on his points. Less than 9.5. And then Cam Spencer over on his points. Nice. All right, so this is going to be a $10 wager, guys, because obviously I'm taking one of the stat slices. Feel free to take whoever you want for your stat slice. Here is that 3-pick slip on DraftKings pick 6. Taking Oubre under, Cam Spencer over. Again, they're small edges. We're taking the stat slice there. I chose Denny Advita because I think he's just an absolute G. And there we go. So there's our stat slice over on pick 6. Let's take a look at the sharp money tool. And let's see for DFS, what do we have? Okay, Jalen Williams of the Thunder, under on his assists. Somebody has $6,600. They want this at -116 odds. So obviously putting this on a 6-pick slip would be very advantageous for us. Draymond for better. Someone is offering the over 21.5 points, rebounds, and assists. We could bet the under, and they want the under for $2,000, which is pretty solid. And obviously, if you're getting this on a 6-pick slip, you're getting this at a really good price. I like to play 3-pick slips, just less variance. Even playing 3-pick slips, guys, you're still going to run into a lot of variance, but it's not as insane as 5 and 6 picks. Also, want to know, curious, because I want to know who covers the spread tonight. So is it Indiana or Oregon? Let me know, guys, who you think covers the spread in tonight's game. The spread's roughly 3.5. Indiana minus 3.5 or Oregon plus 3.5. Who covers? Not gonna lie, I'm a pretty big bandwagon Indiana fan just because of Kurt Signetti. But let me know. Obviously, it's a rematch from earlier this year. Should be a really, really good matchup. For Dabble, John Carlson, you can get this at minus 122 on a 3-pick slip on Dabble. Somebody has $3,000. They want the over 1.5 shots at minus 137 odds. So this would be one that you could add to your slip on Dabble. Looking to see if we have any other Dabble slips. Eamon Thompson, not as much liquidity on this Eamon Thompson play. But again, when you look at this, you could say, FanDuel's at minus 144. We can get this at minus 122 on Eamon Thompson. So forget the liquidity on this play, guys. The price that you're getting at Dabble compared to FanDuel is 22 cents of a difference. That's really good. And if I could add Edgecombe in here as well, you could see FanDuel's at minus 148. So this will probably be another Dabble slip that I'm going to cook up. Can I get limited on my first day with Dabble? That would be incredible. So 76ers Magic. I'm going to cook this one up right now on Edgecombe. Under 5.5 rebounds. Then go over to the Rockets and the Trailblazers. This game's in Portland. We're looking at the over on his points and assists for Thompson. And then John Carlson. Give me John Carlson of the Capitals. Give me his over 1.5 shots on goal. All right, again, another 3-pick entry, and I'm betting $50. All right, there we go. So I got 3 slips on Dabble currently at the moment. The max they're letting me bet is $50, which sucks. Like, Dabble, why don't you let me bet like $100? Skunky says he's got the ladder in 3, 3.5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got OU taking it all. Orty says I got Indy winning all on Cauchy. Got it for like plus 344. Chi-Town. Orty says never been a college football fan until they started the playoffs. Yeah, playoffs are obviously a lot of fun. They're great. I personally think, guys, would love to get your thoughts on this. I got 2 questions, so we'll let this one cook for a minute. I think tonight's game is actually the national championship. No offense to any of my Miami fans. I don't really think it's going to be that close. I think Oregon beats Miami easily. I think Indiana beats Miami easily. So I really feel like tonight is the natty, and I expect it to be a really good game. All right, let's open up this to all the sports books now. We have no odds range, guys. It's a very simple setup. I don't really have much here on the Sharp Money tool. Let's just take a look. Jalen Brunson on his player-made threes. Irish says Oregon plus 4.5 over. Good to hear that. So Irish, then, who do you have? I mean, Indiana minus 3.5 or Oregon plus 3.5, right? I know you wanted a plus 4.5, but what about the plus minus 3.5? So, here is for me, this is a pretty big deal, this Brunson play, which is somebody has posted liquidity and they're offering you to bet the over 2.5 on Brunson on his threes. And they've posted almost $6,000 liquidity on no vig. I don't think that's a fake out. I don't think that's nothing. I think you can glean from something here. Now, there's a couple big assumptions that you're taking with this tool. Number one, we don't know who's posting this liquidity. We can't find out the usernames of the people that are posting this. So we don't know if this is just a guy that has a lot of money that's bored, that's limited on every sports book, that just likes to bet, which is probably not the case, because if you're a whale and you can bet big money and you're not a winning sports bettor, I would say you probably bet on DraftKings or FanDuel. But if you're like me, really only sharp sports bettors know about the exchanges. They know about Kalshi, Polymarket, Novig, ProfitX, Betfair. So this is a lot of money. Pinnacle's taking $500 right now. This is leaps and bounds beyond what Pinnacle's taking. So I think there's something very sharp here. This person wants it at, plus 105 odds. You can get this on Pinnacle at plus 101. I don't know. Not a great price on Bet 105. Obviously, Sportsino, you can get this at plus odds. MGM at plus 100 odds. So I would be interested in betting this under. Okay. And that's kind of the same for all of these plays. You can see that we're talking $7,000, $7,000, $6,600. Pinnacle's taking a $500 limit. So when I talk about multipliers of Pinnacle, guys, I try to keep everything with sports betting, I try to keep it really simple. Really simple. Everybody, a lot of people in here are very analytical minded. I feel like sometimes you can really get too deep in the weeds and big brain this thing, right? So if someone's posting $7,000 on this prop or $6,600, right? Divide that by 500. That's a 13. That's a multiplier of 13. That's 13 times the amount of money that Pinnacle's taking on this play. I think that this would be a play that I would want to be on, right? Now, obviously, the tool is telling you where you can get better odds compared to where the sharp bettor wants it at. But if you can bet this within a range, you're in good shape. Now, obviously, on this play, not many recreational books or just sharp books in general are offering odds that you can get similar to Sportsino. But PrizePicks and Better, you can, right? You can do that. So that's how I like to look at these. All of these plays, this Jalen Williams play, this Simons play, this Brunson play, this Post play, this is all 10x multipliers, if not more, right? So those are good for me. Anything that's really a 5x multiplier on a player prop or higher. So what's Pinnacle's limit? Times that by 5. If it's a 5x multiplier or higher, 6, 7, 8, 9, I would be very interested in betting a unit and a half, maybe 2 units most on these plays. Or you just bet a unit, right? That's your criteria that you have set. But for me, it's common sense. Go out in the street or go to your local Buffalo Wild Wings and just poll the people there and be like, hey, man, do you know what Profit X is? Have you ever heard of No Vig? And if they're like, what? You ever heard of No Vig Sportsbook? I would be shocked if more than 10% of the people in Buffalo Wild Wings at your local Buffalo Wild Wings actually knows what you're talking about. Because they don't. They don't have a clue. So only sharp people know about this. So that's kind of my criteria. All these plays, obviously I prefer to go after plays that have Pinnacle's limit. That's really it though. But again, if you want to bet Chikrin, right, because there's no Pinnacle limit here. But again, this is $5,000. You can't bet $5,000 on Fanatics. You can't bet $5,000 on the score. They don't accept that kind of liquidity on player props. So it's kind of more of a common sense type of thing, in my opinion. Again, you can agree or disagree with that strategy, but that's how I look at it. Irish said, I'd still take Oregon at plus 3.5, but expect IU to win. Appreciate that, Irish. Put you on the spot, man. Appreciate the answer. 49ers Faithful says, first half under 23.5. There you go. Saints fan, the multiplier strategy is one of the best things I've learned from your stream. Appreciate it, Saints fan. And obviously, guys, then you got to track your bets, right? Because this Chikrin play could lose. He could get one shot tonight, right? Brunson might go out there, pop 12 threes. Maybe he hits 5 or 6 of them. These happen all the time in sports betting. I think everyone in here, at least an OG or DGen, has placed enough bets to know that you could get this Chikrin over 3.5 at plus $1 million odds, and he could get one shot tonight, and it loses, and it never had a chance, right? So that's kind of how I look at it in general, guys. You are going to have certain bets that are aberrations. No matter how good of a price that you got it at, it didn't matter, right? You got this over on this one game, and the team didn't even come close to it. So those bets, I don't really beat myself up on those bets. If you place enough of bets, there's going to be a small percentage of bets that you either win by $1 million or you lose by $1 million, right? It didn't really matter that you got a good price on it because it was just a blowout one way or the other. But, where I really lose sleep at night is when we get Zubox and he gets 14 points and we lose by the hook. That's when I start to really look at my process. But if Zubac goes out tonight and puts up 30 points, who gives a shit then if you got the over or the under? It was an aberration. That's how I look at it. Now, maybe you need to look a little bit deeper and say, well, maybe the matchup was right. Maybe we should have saw this coming. But, if Zubac goes out and gets 6 points tonight, again, this never was close. So that's how I try to rationalize sometimes the wins or mostly the losses. is if you get a really good play on Zubox and he goes out and scores 4 points tonight, then it didn't matter what your over was. It never had a chance. And that's where I think is just going to happen sometimes with betting. All of these plays I would definitely be in consideration for, right? These are all in the $1,000 range. When we're talking about player props, Pinnacle is going to take maybe $500. We talk about the NFL, Pinnacle will take $1,000, but otherwise that's really it. Okay, for my arbitrage bettors, if you don't want to have to try to figure out all these limits and who's sharp with what sports and what markets, that's a lot to remember, right? If you don't want to do that, I hear you loud and clear. You just want to day trade the books. That's all you want to do. So the video that I made today, guys, that came out on OddsJam, I'm very obviously bullish on Kalshi, on Polymarket. These are exchanges that will never limit you. They're going to give you more options now. If you live in a state like Texas and you have now ProfitX and NoVig and Kalshi now and a Polymarket, like now you have more books that are exchanges that will never limit you. And that's huge, right? If you can start to find some of these books, you might be able to find some ARBs where you can bet some really big dollars on, because you know those books will never limit. So they don't care how much you wager. They want you to wager more. Right, so when you're talking about like this Holmes play with DraftKings and MGM, unfortunately, I like to think of your account health as like your cell phone battery. It's slowly dying, and you're never going to be able to recharge it. So if you were to place this ARB at 7 a.m. when this game starts at 7 p.m., I think that can significantly cut down your life or your health of your account. But if you can find ARBs that are 30 minutes to 60 minutes before the game starts, I feel like you're still going to kill your account, but it's not going to be as quickly, not as fast, because you're betting closer to game time when more casual bettors like to wager. And with the ARB tool, like 95% of these ARBs, if not higher, are player props. So that's the market you're going to get limited on first with every sports book. So if you can wait closer till game time to bet these ARBs, that's going to be a little bit more advantageous for you. So like Polymarket here with Giannis, this is an ARB. Even though there's only $133, I would rather go after this, right? You can do it on SportsZeno or BetMGM, because now you're only burning through one book in terms of your account health, because Polymarket doesn't care how much you wager. So those are like the ARBs that I'm really looking for, is where can I line up a rec book with an exchange? Preferably, where can I line up FanDuel or Props Builder with Polymarket or Kalshi or ProfitX or NoVig? That's what I want. All right, so that's kind of just arbitrage in general, guys. Again, one or two other tips that I would say. If you're looking to live arbitrage today, okay, select all the books that you have accounts with, okay? And if this is live arbitrage betting, figure out what's your ROI that you're willing to take. So maybe it's 4%, maybe it's 5%. Right? I like to focus main markets, maybe just player props. And all I would do when I would sit down on my computer is I would just hit the play button and I would just select all the sports books that I have accounts with, and I would literally just watch the ARB tool, which books are popping up all the time. And then that tells me, okay, that's the books that I want to arbitrage with tonight. Right? I would rather you let the market tell you what's going on. What books is MGM lining up with FanDuel a lot? Is Flip and FanDuel popping up a lot? Maybe is DraftKings and BetRivers popping up a lot? Those are then the books that I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to pay attention to the sport, the market, the sports books. What books are lining up the most? And then I'm going to pick my 3 or 4 books, and then that's where I'm going to go log into those books, and I'm going to go attack, right? So if you can try to find some type of continuity with, hey, these are matching up the most, then that's going to make your time very, we're trying to make the most efficiency out of our time. So that's going to put you in the most advantageous spots. What books line up the most? Focus on those books. Forget about everybody else. Forget about just focus on one market or one sport with these 3 or 4 books and just ARB those. And that's all you're doing. Don't try to take it all. Right? Just focus on one thing at one time. Focus on what you can control. Let's look at the EV tool. Small slate of NHL games tonight. So we're just going to look at NHL goal scorers really quick. And as you can see right here, I have no results. So we'll come back and check this later. Pretty simple, right? No results, not betting anything, not forcing it, not going to expand my odds range to plus 350 or plus 450. I'm just going to accept that there aren't any plays right now for NHL goal scorers. If you're in Dub Club, then we are on a play tonight with NHL goal scorers. And again, if you guys find any value at all in the content or in any of the information that I'm sharing, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're pushing towards 10,000 subs. Excited that at some point here in 2026, we will hit 10,000 subscribers. I won't stop until we do. And it's going to be a fun little giveaway day, most likely when we hit 10K. 10K day is going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's take a look at college hoops, college football, digging to Bookmaker. Pretty simple, guys. I go minus 200 plus 150. I use Bookmaker as my sharp. Worst case, main markets, right? Keep it real simple. College hoops, college football. Ho-ho! Sacred Heart Marist. Go bet this on ProfitX, guys. There's $15. I'm not going to really deep dive this. This is just above 2%. Not a very big slate of games tonight for college hoops. This is pretty good. It's even better to Pinnacle, but it's good to Bookmaker. So I like that. And look at that. Pinnacle fell off a cliff. Bookmaker's doing the same thing. This is FanDuel, guys. Go, go, go. Marist Sacred Heart over 141.5. No, Wardy, not yet, man. I think we're at like 8,200 or something like that. We're above 8,000, which is awesome, and I appreciate it. But this year, we're definitely going to strive to hit 10 and 15K. I got big goals in 2026, and honestly, my big goal would be to hit 25K by the end of this year. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys that do subscribe to me. That is not lost on me at all. All right, so let's look at Marist Sacred. No. You can maybe it's okay over at Ballybet. Damn it, I'm too slow. Oh, Marist Sacred Heart, that over was looking juicy. Oh, so juicy. All right, let's come back over and refresh. Damn. Okay, now little different story on this play. Again, knowing what we know from the sharp money tool, there's $16,000 on this money line. What is it? There's 6,700 on Novig. What's Polymarket? Polymarket has like 4,000. Okay. At plus 113. So, Pinnacle's only taking $3,000 on this. So when you see like 2 or 3x the amount of money on an exchange compared to the sharp sports books, that makes me stop and think, is somebody sharp that's on this, right? That's a signal to me. It tells me a couple of things. Either number one, I just don't bet this play at all. I don't touch it, and we move on to something else, right? If you're a little too confused by like, I don't know what to think here, then don't bet it. Just don't touch it. The second thing I would say is if you do think that like, all right, well, this dude's got like $7,000 at plus 113. Obviously, they want this at minus 113 guys on the other side, which is it's not crazy. Then you could say, okay. So we're looking at St. Peter's and Mount St. Mary's. So I'm just over here on Bookmaker because I know what Pinnacle's limit is, but what's the limit on Bookmaker? There it is. All right, so we're looking at St. Peter's. So what's Mount St. Mary's on the money line over here? It is $1,000. So Bookmaker's only taking $1,000 on this money line. Pinnacle's taking $3K. Somebody has almost $7,000. So to me, I would want to maybe go ahead and bet this side on St. Peter's. Now, I'm probably not going to just touch it, right? I'm going to take option one. Don't touch this play. But that's how I would evaluate this play. What else we got? Ooh, Niagara, Iona. This is on Canby, guys. Under 140.5. Do we have a couple options on this or no? Is it just kind of one? It's just this. But it's a 3.5% edge play. Pinnacle and Bookmaker, Circa, Bet Online, they're all aligned on this play. They all have roughly the same price. So this looks incredible. Now it's just Ballybet because Bet Rivers is at plus 102. Still a really good situation. It's not as good, but something I would definitely take a look at. It's crazy how quickly stuff moves. Really, anything that's below 2%, I'm not really interested in betting. So no offense to this Cleveland State game. I don't really care. Merrimack and Siena at plus 104 odds. Pinnacle's at plus 102. This is, again, guys, having an account to Bookmaker definitely helps. So over here on Bookmaker, I'm just on my other monitor. I'm taking a look. I want to see what Bookmaker's taking in terms of liquidity on this total points market. Books will always take more money on point spreads compared to total points in general. They're taking $1,100. Pinnacle's taking $1,500. I don't really want to play this. I just don't want to do it, right? On Poly Market, it's $900. I don't really care. Justin, have you looked at Bettors SSBK yet? So Justin, I don't have access to Bettors. If you're talking about like their trade predictions market, I can only bet their pick'ems in Arizona. That's all I have access to. So no, I haven't looked at that. Don't have access to it, to be honest. But good question. All right, so let's go over to. I'm going to pull up this Onyx. I'm logging into Onyx too to see what the boost of the day is on Onyx. And I gotta throw in. They're asking for the 2-factor code. All right, and then let's take a look at. We'll start with FanDuel. So we'll start with FanDuel as our sharp sports book, and we'll look for player props. Right. What do we got? Okay. There's a 38% parlay boost today on Onyx. Looks really good. So we'll tackle that here in just a second. So all the books are selected. FanDuel, what do we got? Kelly Oubre, this is a Hard Rock only play. The only reason I open this play up, guys, is just to see if any other book is offering a price close to this. This price on MGM is very good, guys. Very good at plus 100. This is an ARB to FanDuel. FanDuel has the over at plus 110. MGM has the under at plus 100. I would definitely bet the under. This is probably a palpable error on Hard Rock, but still, this is an incredible price. And that play on MGM, guys, is an ARB to Caesars. I still really, really like that play on Oubre, under on his points. Go grab that. Carlton, Carrington, can I get this at bet 105? The over 2.5 made threes. Yes, I can. I can get this at Bracco too. So, this is obviously an ARB to FanDuel. And again, any of the sharp books can catch action, guys. I want to see who moved. And actually, Pinnacle is the book that moved. Okay? So, here's how I would go about this. I typically, for positive EV betting, I don't like to wager. I do not like to wager on the book that just moved in price. I don't like to do that. So I would either ARB this play. I'd go to bet 105, and I would ARB this between Pinnacle and bet 105, right? Plus 153, minus 140. That's a good ARB. Not bad. I would either ARB this play, or I would just not play it altogether, right? That's how I would look at that Carrington play. Trey Johnson, this is probably fake news, because I first look at DraftKings odds and say, oh, DraftKings is at plus 107. Onyx copies DraftKings odds. So, look, they just followed in line and finally got their act together. So that's not real. So when I'm looking at Onyx plays, guys, I'm looking for DraftKings paired with Onyx. Or like Santee here at plus 101, I'd say, okay, obviously this price just changed. Everything's kind of changing here. I would look at Onyx's price. The reason that I normally don't rock a ton of Onyx parlays, we've made them before in the past. It's just a big pain in the butt making these because Onyx moves so quickly, or they're just so stale to everything else. It's a book that's still worth your time to bet on for pregame. It's just very frustrating. Sandro on his rebounds. For anyone that has MGM, this is an ARB to FanDuel. This is an incredible ARB to FanDuel. Again, the over's at plus 124 in FanDuel. The under's at plus 100. I would just go ARB that. Orty, I hope that's the case. Like I talked about a month or so ago when I went to Flagstaff and I went to the Hard Rock kiosk. I couldn't place a single bet on the kiosk because they had so much extra vig on every single play. So definitely go over to the kiosk at Hard Rock, but I'm just going to give you a forewarning, my friend. Don't be surprised if you see OddsJam on their mobile app saying this is at plus 130 and Hard Rock has this at like minus 120. The extra vig that was baked into every single kiosk and every play that I looked at Hard Rock, I will probably just never go back to a Hard Rock kiosk ever again. It was so bad. Unless you're an originator, different story, guys. But if you're using a top-down betting approach, it's just horrible at the kiosks. So I hope that's not the case for you, my friend. I've had success at Bet Rivers kiosks, Caesars kiosks, MGM kiosks, ESPN Bet kiosks. Hard Rock was the first time I went to a brick and mortar casino and literally couldn't place a single bet that had an edge because of how much extra vig they baked into all their lines. It was absolutely terrible. All right, so in terms of, me placing some bets here, I'm pretty limited on obviously MGM and Hard Rock and Bet Rivers for all player props, but these are all plays that I really like. Anything that's roughly about 7.5%, 8% EV edge or higher, guys, these are all going to be ARBs to FanDuel for the most part. If they're not ARBs, they're not far off, right? So this would be a play here on Anthony Black, under on his assists. We would click into FanDuel and we'd see, FanDuel just dropped off a cliff on Anthony Black under on his assists. Even if Bet Rivers moved up a little bit, I'm still fine betting this over on Bet Rivers. I think that this can be something you could definitely beat. Yeah, I would definitely check it out, Orty. I don't want to, throw any water on the fire, man. I'm hoping that you can, because I'll tell you this, Orty. If you can go to your local Hard Rock and you can find, maybe you can't get this at plus 105, but you can get it at like plus 100, then by all means, man, you're going to have a time. You're going to have the best time of your life betting this. My concern is, instead of plus 105, you see this at minus 115, and you're like, yeah, I can't bet that. And then you check Kevin Porter, and it's at plus 100 odds and not plus 120. You're like, I can't bet that. But if this Kevin Porter plays at like plus 115, plus 113, oh, yeah, you'll still have a really solid edge on that play. You'll be able to bet it. No doubt. No doubt. Let's take a look at Pinnacle right now to see what they are in terms of sharp, looking at some different player props for the NBA. Goal tomorrow, guys, is to stream at, 9 a.m. Eastern? I'm sorry. 11 a.m. Eastern. Sorry, 8 a.m. Pacific. Thinking of my Arizona time, which is 9 a.m. Mountain time. But 11 a.m. Eastern, guys, tomorrow we will be streaming and looking to do so on Sunday as well. Okay, so the shed play, you don't have to really think about it. For my score people, DeAndre Ayton, this is an ARB to Pinnacle, plus 130 on the under, minus 128 on the over. Plus odds is larger than the minus odds. This is a crossed market. Typically, the rec book is always incorrect on this play. Something I'd also look at over here on FanDuel. Another thing, guys, I like to bet FanDuel sometimes too. Why would I bet this? Well, look, FanDuel's 4 cents off to the score. It's 1 cent off to Hard Rock. These are two really easy books to beat. I would love to bet this. Now, let me see who's moving, right? Any movement at all. We got a lot of movement from Pinnacle in the last 45 minutes. So the other reason why I like to open up these plays, like I'm limited on the score. I can't really bet at the score, but I can bet at FanDuel, and this is only 4 cents off, right? Now I'm limited on FanDuel as well, but getting this at 126 odds is still a 7% edge according to Pinnacle. So again, guys, with a lot of these plays, the ones that I can bet that I'm not limited to, $5 on, I put my money where my mouth is, and I place the bets right in front of you, because I don't know how many people actually place the bets in front of you when they're streaming. They just tell you to bet this, right? That's what the touts always do. Just go bet this, and you never actually see them place the bet. Or they tell you how much money they're up, but you don't ever see like a ticket of them actually placing the bets. So the DeAndre Ayton line's at 12.5. So this is his alternate line. Make sure I got this right. We're looking at the, player points. How much is it? Under 11.5. And I'm just going to bet for as much as I can bet. $79. That's what I'm in for. And it just moved. Oh, no. Ah! Damn. Plus 116 is, this is kind of my rationale, guys. If FanDuel has the same price as Hard Rock and the score, and these two books are a piece of cake to beat, then naturally we would have got a great price. Plus 116 is not nearly as good. It's a 2% edge. I'm not going to bet that. So I was literally talking too much and too slow. And I cost myself some money because that was an incredible play. And FanDuel agrees with Pinnacle, and they're moving in that direction. So that's like the best confirmation that you can have when you're top-down betting. FanDuel has the same odds as Hard Rock. Hard Rock's really easy to beat. And then all of a sudden, FanDuel moves 10 cents in your favor. That sucks. But that was a good play. Paulo on his rebounds. Arb to Pinnacle. Just go bet Arbs to Pinnacle all day long. So under 7.5 rebounds, Sixers Magic. This is his alternate line, guys. So just go down here to Paulo. Under 7.5. $101. I'll bet that. They'll let me bet 100 to make 150, basically. There we go. That's an Arb to Penny all day long. Bet Arbs to Pinnacle. Paulo under on his rebounds. So at least we get that one down. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that, Irish. I totally forgot today's Friday. I've been kind of, being sick. It's crazy. We do have the happy hour. Love seeing that. Love seeing that. I got to make sure I pull that up. Make sure you guys go into your promos on FanDuel. Click on the happy hour Friday because that's definitely worth it. And we can go after some first baskets. So we'll rip through these guys. We get 5 30% tokens. I love putting this on first baskets typically. So let's go do that. Again, the boosts are so good, guys, that they're really EV. So I'll share these with you guys. I'm just going to rip through some of these right now and just bet these in front of you. So just come down here to first basket, right? I'm a big fan. Oh, I forgot. He's not playing tonight. I was going to say I'm a big fan of normally taking Brandon Ingram, which is fine. I'm trying to think who else I really want to go after tonight. All right, let's do the one guy that I kind of despise the most on the Suns. I think it's a $10 max wager. Yeah, $10 max wager. Take Dylan Brooks. There you go, Irish. You made 5 plays last week and you hit 1. That's always a good sign. Definitely something you want to go after. Let's go with Claxton from the Nets. And again, guys, we're investing $50, and we're gonna all we have to do is hit 1, and we make our money back. So that's what we're kind of doing, right? So remember, these are big time long shot underdog odds, guys. But all we have to do is hit on 1, and we're in good shape. We're very profitable. I do like, one we'll take one of the favorites here with Jaylen Brown, because I do like Jaylen on this. And so with this boost, this makes it still $5.85. So again, we can make about $8.50 if we hit on Jaylen Brown and nobody else. If we hit on 2 of these guys, we're going to be very profitable. And normally I like to do 1 per game. Pelicans and the Wizards. Trying to think where's my guy that I really like to go. We're going to go with Jeremiah Fears for sure. That's one I like. Bingo. Yeah, that's a nice long shot play. So if all 5 of these lose, remember we're betting on extreme long shot underdog odds. I'm very well aware how long shot it is. What I wanted to see in this game as well. No, I wasn't sure if he was playing tonight because I was a little more interested in that. But we're going to go with Edgecombe. I was hoping to grab Jalen Suggs, but I forgot that he's out. So we're going to go with Edgecombe. And there we go. Okay. There's our 5 plays that I'm going to be rocking tonight. Again, guys, $50 investment. If we hit 1, I'm really happy. Really, really happy. Let's get back to some more of these. Paulo now dropped from plus 148 to plus 144. Not a huge movement, but still good movement. We got some good options there. Again, the Sportzino play, I just simply open this play up to see, like, yo, can I get this anywhere else? And I can get this at plus 128 odds over at Props Builder. So, like, man, plus 128 on the over. Pinnacle's at minus 126 on the under. This is an ARB Props Builder, guys. You could bet this at a number of different offshore sports books. I'm going to go over to BetDSI. Go to their Props Builder play. Jalen Williams over on his points, rebounds, and assists. This is an ARB to Pinnacle. Go get it. Bovada, Bet Online, Bet DSI, Bet Any Sports, XBet, MyBookie, all of those books offer props builder for pregame. A lot of options. Go grab it. Jalen Williams over 38.5. Let's go to combos. Looking for him to get 39. There it is. It's plus 127, but still really, really good. They're letting me bet a ton of money on this one. I'm going to go $300 because this is just such a good play. And we're getting this at 127 for $300. I could have bet up to, BetDSI was going to let me wager almost $800 on this play, which was really nice. Didn't feel like going that big on a player prop, but still, 300 is a big bet for me. Jamal Shed over on assists. So another reason, guys, like, hey, you're limited on Sportsino, right? But we can still find this over a props builder. We have some different options. Shed over on assists. Anything above plus 102 is pretty good. But let's take a look at, see if anybody moved. I really look for movement. Not much movement here, to be honest with you. And this is an ARB if it's still out there on MGM and ARB. So I would bet this on MGM. Probably wouldn't bet this anywhere else if it's below plus 120 odds. These plays on Anthony Black and RJ Barrett, they're all under $500, guys. Just go bet these on Novig. Kaishan George on his points, on the score. This is 1 cent off to being a low hold. I would still definitely go bet this. Again, let's look to see if we have any movement because I'd be interested in betting this on FanDuel, possibly. And not a ton of movement here, okay? So I like this at 125. At 118, maybe not as much. But I definitely dig this on the score. I like that a lot. Again, on a day like today where there's 10 NBA games, guys, don't concern yourself going after the, 1.5%, 2% edge plays. I know we checked some college basketball plays earlier. There's not a lot of college basketball plays today. But the idea here is that, with NBA and there's so many props out there, there's so many high edge plays, just truly go after the elite plays and don't concern yourself with the 2.5% plays, right? Speaking of Miles Turner on FanDuel, because I'm always looking to go after FanDuel, this is an ARB to Pinnacle. Now, FanDuel moved a lot. Now, I don't like that movement from FanDuel. Not a fan of that. But again, ARB's to Pinnacle. It's hard for me to pass this up. So we're going to go over here on the Bucks and the Lakers. Turner over 10.5 points. He's an extremely frustrating player for me in terms of betting him. Very helter-skelter. This is his main line. They'll let me bet 196, which is pretty nice. And still, it's an ARB to Pinnacle, guys. So while I don't like the movement as much from FanDuel, I'll go in for a 195 spot again. They won't let me bet 197. I can only bet up to 196. I'll go 195, just nice and easy. There we go. There's a big bet on Turner for him to score some points tonight. Yeah, Wilbo, it's always worst case. Always worst case for me. I always go the most conservative approach. Always. Let's look at this 8 and play again. Man, that was so good. And then, let's go with Giannis on his points. Okay, not an ARB to Penny. It's an ARB to Circa on Hard Rock. Nice to see. Yeah, Wilbo, it's always worst case. Always worst case. So I'm always devigging to worst case. No. Not feeling that as much. What else do we got here? Porter, $67 Profit X. I would just bet that automatically. And I would say on a day like today, guys, anything that's below 5%, I'm probably not going to concern myself with. So we're just going after plays that are maybe 5% or higher. Dyson Daniels on his points. Maybe Mark Williams on his points. You could see sometimes that MGM and FanDuel aren't too far off from one another. So, like that movement from Pinnacle downward, that's really good. Unfortunately, though, at plus 102 odds, this is only a 2% edge play, so I wouldn't bet that on FanDuel. Kind of stinks. I like the movement, but I'm still not going to touch it, right? So that's kind of how I like to evaluate these. Oh, Paul George on his rebounds on DraftKings. This is very good. It's 1 cent off to being a low hold. It was an ARB earlier, still over on DK, guys. Grab Paul George under 5.5 boards. DK is on an island all by themselves here. And you can see they just changed their odds. They realized that they were out to lunch. Sometimes it's like that with how quick we have to move. That stinks, but it's okay. Just move on. Take a look at it again. Let's go back to NHL anytime goal scores really quick just to see if there's anything new that's popped up. There hasn't. All right, the other thing that I want to do is let's look at some player props for Onyx. Is there anything at all that I can find with Onyx and DraftKings? So you see this guy's popping up. When you click into this, I would look to see, does Onyx have similar odds? They do here on Cam Spencer. It's off by 2 cents. That's fine by me. So for this Onyx boost, we're going to try to cook something up. It's going to be a 3-leg parlay because that's the minimum that we have to make. Waiting for Onyx to load. This sports book really frustrates me sometimes. It's just so slow. I don't really know how they operate as a business with how slow they run because it's borderline impossible. But I'd look to take this Cam Spencer play under 2.5 threes. Derek White. DraftKings is at -116. Onyx is at -118. That's still good for me. And then LeBron on his assists, 2 cents off again. I'm fine with this as well. So these are 3 individual plays. This is a traditional parlay, so you know you're not going to get ripped off in price. So player points, Derek White over. Again, this is kind of how I like to evaluate things. We're looking for Cam Spencer with the Grizzlies. Under on his threes. I don't know if you guys are using the desktop. I am. This is so slow. Cam at -110. Okay, so we got the Spencer play added, the Derek White play added, and I'm looking for LeBron. 3-pick entry. I'll play this for the max guys. Again, if you're looking to add these plays, you could just simply click the under here. Click the over here. Click on this left-hand side. This is how you add plays to your parlay. Taking the over. Up here in the top right-hand corner, you click on this $sign. It's going to tell you what's up. And LeBron at -105 odds. We have a 38% parlay boost where we're getting a $20 max entry. So we're getting this at +811 odds, which you can see the best odds is Camby. This is really good. Does it go through? Still waiting to see if it's going to go through. Wow, congrats, Onyx. I actually was able to submit a parlay. You actually did your job for once. Here's the link, guys, for the 3-leg slip on Onyx for that 38% parlay. And so for those of you out there, I like to actually put my money where my mouth is. That's the slip. There it is. LeBron over, Spencer under, White over. Again, it's 2 cents off to DraftKings price, but with the boost, 38% is really good. So this is a very plus EV parlay. Yeah, Antoine, definitely not just you, my friend. Definitely not just you. So there it is. So +811 odds, guys. I could just come over here, and what you could do is you could just type in 20. I can go down here to Onyx, click the plus button here. You can see it's going to be added to my tracker. And then all I would simply do, for those of you that want this, I normally don't track a lot of my parlays on OddsJam because I don't have the time to try to do all this clicking. You can see it's a little bit of a chore to do this. Come over here, click in the Onyx, click Odds Boost, and we turn this into 811 odds. And then that's it. Now it's all saved for me right here on this. You can see my Miles Turner play and my Jalen Williams play is right here. So this is how we track everything. But again, for parlays, if you like to play a lot of parlays, I would just, I know Pickett costs money. Chi-Town, remind me the other app that's free to use. I would definitely use one of the apps, guys, that just automatically tracks your action. That way you don't have to worry about adding these because on OddsJam, it's a bit of a chore. All right, so that's the Onyx parlay that we were able to get to. We're well over an hour, guys, and my throat is kind of killing me because it was sore this morning. So this is where we're going to call it a stream. I'm going to get ready to lock it in and watch Indiana and Oregon. I hope we see another great game like we did last night with Miami and Ole Miss. Questions, email me, DM me. Check out the video on OddsJam that just dropped, guys, talking about Kalshi and Poly Market. You'll see me actually place a bet on Kalshi, and it won yesterday. It cashed. So love seeing that. I think there's some definitely profitable opportunities that you can find on those books. So make sure you get your accounts fired up. It's available in all 50 states. So if you live in America, you can bet on Kalshi and Poly Market. We're back on tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, guys, 8 a.m. Pacific, doing this again, finding more bets. May you win all of your bets and have the greatest night of your life sports betting tonight. And let me know about how it went tomorrow. All right, guys, take care.